Okay, I've just started the meeting. Okay, 84. And yeah, Prathamesh, just check the chat section if someone's asking any questions, okay? And let me know.
Okay. We'll do that.
Okay. So guys, first of all, good evening and a warm welcome to every one of you for being present for our first virtual lab, KIT's virtual lab session. So from today, we are starting our training sessions. So this is our first session on Git and GitHub. So in this session will be firstly conducted by me and Prathamesh. And in this, we'll give you some basic idea on background of Git and GitHub. Then we'll head on to hands-on. Okay. So while I'm explaining you Git and GitHub, just pay attention to what the difference of Git and GitHub is, because most of the people struggle to understand the difference between it. And if you understand the difference, then you are probably successful. Then nothing's tough for you. Okay. So let's start. Firstly, the first question is, what is Git? Okay. So it's a version control system. So it's called a version control system because there are various versions created when you save a file. So I'll explain it to you in a bit detail later on. It's called a version control system because it keeps tracks of all the changes in the file. So let's assume you have a file and you are coding, and if you press Control S, then it's saved, right? And in the future, if you think that the current code is not quite well, it's a bad code that you just did into your entire project, and if you feel that you want to revert back to the previous code, then what will you do, right? So Git provides you that functionality that it just saves all the versions, means the first version, second version, third version. So various versions are stored using this Git. You can revert back to the previous changes, as I said, and these changes are nothing but called the commit. So we will be referring to these changes as commit into this entire session, and that's what a technical word is. It's like an undo button, right? So if you're coding, you press Control Z, it just undoes the thing, right? Just the thing is, when you type a code and if you exit the window, what happens is you can't do undo because all the changes are stored in the RAM, right? So Git allows you to save all those changes into various versions. So whenever you close your system and come back after some time, you can also revert back to those changes. So that's what it allows you, just like an undo button. So the changes are stored as different versions, as I said, and it allows you to manage your code when you are working with your commits too, right? So these versions are stored on a local repository. So when you're working with Git, it's called a local repository because you're not connected to the internet. That's what the basic motive of Git is. So whenever you want to communicate or whenever you want to contribute into a single project with your commits, then the GitHub comes into the picture. So now, what is GitHub? As I said, whenever you are working in a local repository, you are not connected to the world. You are not connected to your commits. So if you want to share with them, what we can do is you can upload it on cloud, right? So GitHub just provides you that interface to upload your projects on GitHub so that they can also contribute into it. So that's why it's a free cloud platform or a website to host your local repository on internet. So it's currently owned by Microsoft. It was recently taken in 2018, and it's the world's most repository. You can also search some details of it. Yeah, multiple people can contribute on a single project. That's what the plus point of GitHub is. And the most important thing of GitHub is it's easy to use graphical interface, because there are two ways to upload your file or project on your GitHub. The first way is you can go onto this website. You can use their interface to upload your files, and the second method is using your command prompt. And if you are a newbie, you can also go for a graphical interface, and that's quite easy. But what I would prefer is you must go with terminal, because whenever you are in the industry, you're going to need it a lot, because there are various people into the team, and various people contribute into the project, and yeah, so to commit the changes, to download the file, to again upload the file, it's a quite tedious job, right? So you must get adapted to the terminal. So in this session, we will also tell you both of those methods. I will tell you the first method and Prathamesh tell you the second one. So now I will give you one extremely what we say hypothetical example to understand the difference between GitHub. So if anyone is not paying attention, just pay quite attention to this. This is going to make you clear about Git and GitHub. So I will display some commands onto the screen, and I will also explain it and what we say connect it to that story. Okay. So let's imagine you are a student, you are into a school, and you are supposed to build a science project. Let's say you want to build a solar city, right? And the rules are that every student means you are given a single lab into your college or in your school, and there's one box of your name that you have to put in, and you have to work on your project into that single laboratory. And the rule is that no one enter into that laboratory. It's only assigned to you. Okay. And so let's say I will just display the first command, and then I will just show you, tell you. So git init. This is the very first command that we use. Okay. So as I said, you are assigned into assigned a laboratory. Okay. So what you will do is you are supposed to take your bucket or what we say rack or cupboard and put it into the laboratory. Why? Because you have to keep your project into that bucket or into that cupboard. Okay. So let's say bucket. It's a bucket. So git init is nothing but initializes a bucket kind of thing into your folder, into your project folder. Okay. Then the next step is just imagine that you have started working on your project. You have taken everything. You have taken buildings. You have taken roads. You have put together all the things, and you are done with half of the project. Let's say you have put up a few of the buildings, right? And now you think that now it's enough. I'm tired today. I want to work on this project tomorrow. What you will do? You will just keep that thing into the box. You will go out of the lab. You will again come tomorrow, right? So what add does is it uh, wait. If you want to store all those things into that bucket, there are various. Just imagine that you have started working, and there are various mess onto the ground. It's like you have scissors, you have various trash. All those things are scattered on your ground. So to put all those things, to collect all those things, you need a carry bag, right? So that carry bag is nothing but git add command. So it just collects all those what we say mess, all those project into one carry bag, and you will take that carry bag and then you will put it into a bucket. So this git command, the git commit. So this command will allow you to put that carry bag into that bucket. That's what it does. Okay. And yeah, one point to git add is git add provides you two ways to add those things. Git add file name will add only a single file, and git add space dot will add entire files into your ground, let's say like scissors and everything that's scattered on the ground. So git commit will allow you to put all those things on your bucket. Okay. So now imagine you have come to you have been into the laboratory next day. You have come into the laboratory. You will take out your what do we say? Just imagine that you have created a copy of yesterday's work. You have started working on that project, and you have made few changes. Let's say there are two buildings on your project. You just add another building. That's the only thing that you did today. Okay. So what Git allows is when you put that thing into the bucket, it will create different versions of your work. So the yesterday's project, yesterday's work was your first version, and your today's work is your second version. So similarly, different versions are created, and and let's say that your second version has messed up, and let's say something happens to your second version or second update. Then what you will do? You will think that I want a previous version. Okay. So the best thing is that in your bucket there is your previous version, right? So that's what Git allows you. You can use your previous versions so that your code is not lost. Okay. So this was a quite introduction to Git, and it is worked into your local repository. You're working on your repository by yourself. Okay. So now when does GitHub comes into the picture? So now you are working on your project. You are tired, and you want one of your friend to contribute into that code. Okay, sorry, code not in your project. Let's say. So in that case, there's one solution that your friend is in another lab. Okay, and there's one common passage between your lab and your friend's lab. Just imagine. Okay, and that passage is nothing but your internet. And on that internet, various developers are available, various labs are available. So what you will do is you will just go and put your project into that corridor. Okay, so it will be available to all, and you will give some access rights to your friends. So that friend will come from your laboratory, that will take your project and start working on it. So this is your first command, git remote add origin. What it will do is that passageway, you know what, your lab and your friend's lab have that passageway, right? So this command will create that link between your lab and your friend's lab. Okay, so that's what git remote add origin will do. It will connect to your what do you say, repository on your GitHub, that is publicly, means there are options like private and public, but let's consider it's public. And now as you have created that link, now what you will do, you will just go and put your project onto that pathway, right, into that corridor, right? So that's what git push origin master will do. It will just push your entire code, your entire project onto that repository. That's what you did, right? You just took your Solar project, just got into the corridor, you put it onto the ground, means it's available available on the internet, right? So that's what git push or add git push origin master did. So now what your friend has to do, your friend has to take that project and start working on it. So for that person to take that project, he has to do some actions, right? So that action is nothing but git pull. He'll just type git pull onto his repository, and he will get the copy of that repository, and he will start working on that repository. So that's what git pull does. So now I hope you have got the difference between Git and GitHub. So till now, so after this, there will be some hands-on on the on this GitHub. Okay. So before that, are there any questions till now? Means, are you clear about Git and GitHub? Pratham, just check the chat box, please. Hello.
Hello. Yes.
Yeah.
Everybody says that it's here till now.
Okay. No questions, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so I've got some DMs about a few of the members. So what happened is just because we are arranging Git and GitHub, few of the students installed GitHub desktop application. So there was few bit confusion between Git and GitHub. So I hope they all have also cleared what the difference is. Okay. So let's move on. So if you are clear, so now we will just head on to the hands-on session. Okay. So first I will just share my screen. Um, share content. Okay. Is my repository visible? Is it, Prathamesh?
Yes, Shitesh.
Okay.
Visible.
Okay, guys. Okay, guys. So now here is our repository. So the very first thing you have to do is you have to create your account on GitHub. So I don't think you need some guidelines on how to create account on GitHub. So just go onto this website, just type GitHub. You'll just get the what do we say, creation link. You just create it, and the first page you will see is this page. So this is your profile page. Here's your details of all the, what do we say, repositories you have built. Okay, there are 15 repositories right now. So now what I will do is I will show you how to upload your project using this graphical interface, using this website. Okay. So let's start how to build that. Okay. So once you have created your repository, you will see this new button. It will allow you to create new repository. So I've created new repository. I will just give the name what we say, demo virtual lab. Okay. So there are two options for your repository. As I explained to you with that example, that pathway, that is nothing but this Git repository, right? So there are two options. Either you can keep it private or either you can keep it public. So private will allow only you and your team members to see this repository. Okay. And if you keep it public, anyone on the internet can visit your repository and he can suggest you various changes. So it depends on you. So if you are on a classified project, you can go into the private. So I will just keep it public. And there is option of adding a README. I don't think that's quite necessary right now. I'll just create the repository. You also do this. And so yeah, the repository is created. So it's in the my this is my username, and this is our repository. Okay, this is our repository. So whenever you create this repository, this first page comes onto your screen. So what it just tell you all the instructions of how to upload files on Git and GitHub. So as I explained all these instructions before, Prathamesh will also give you a demonstration of how to do this. I will not get into this. Okay, I don't know what's happening. Okay. So this is your cloning. This is your address of repository. You can share it with your friends. So now I will just upload a file. If you want to upload a file, there is this button, okay, uploading an existing file, that is your project on your repository, or create a new file. So I will just upload an existing file. So now I have to choose a file from my local repository. Desktop. So let's create a demo file. Desktop demo. This file is empty. Oops, sorry. First I just have to edit it. Wait for a sec. Okay, let's say hello guys. Okay, I just saved this file. So now what I'll do is just choose that particular file. I will open it. Okay, so this file is uploaded. So if you don't want to use terminal, what you can do is you just build your project, you just choose your file, and there is this commit message. As I told you that commit git commit command, you just have to type the what do we say message here, and the message should be quite concise, because if you are in an industry, there are tons and tons of engineers working on that project. So the message should be quite describing. Okay, so I will just say this is our first commit, and I'll just commit changes. So look, our first commit is done. So it just says that this is our first commit. This is your commit message. This is our file, and this just shows you that this is our first commit. Okay, I'll just click on this. So look, this is our VCS, that is version control system. So this is our version that I said before. This is our first project. This is our first version into our box, right? So this is our first version. So now I will just show you how to create second commit, and I'll just give you the quite difference. So when I click onto that file, there is one option from here. You can also edit your file. I just edit it so that I can get second commit. This is VLab. Okay, and I have to again commit, added a new line, and I commit this change. So look, when I go onto the desktop view, dashboard view, sorry. So you can see this commit message, added a new file. Okay, and now you can see that there is this second commit. This is our second version, as I told you before. And now what you can do is, if your second version is quite this is our bad version, what we say, and you are not satisfied with this version, what you will do is, you have this first version which you can use again. Okay, so what you will do, if you want to use this previous version, you will just have to come here. You will keep on to click on this code button, code logo, and now look, you can see that this was our first commit, and when you click onto this file, look, the second line is not present here. So this is how you can use it. You can probably download this code and edit it with your project. So this is how version control helps you. And now one good thing I would like to tell you. So there are so in your team there will be a couple of coders. There will be documentation team, and there will be a tester team. So for documentation team, they will have to create that aim, and then what we say experiments and some documentation tasks, right? So what they have to do is just get onto this what we say repository, and there is this button, add a README. Okay, so I guess probably Pooja Patel ma'am will give you this template. You just have to edit it. Okay, so there are a few principles that you have to follow. So, in order to edit this README file, you can either use HTML, CSS, just HTML, that would be fine. Or either you can use a markup language. It's not a kind of language, but markup, what we say, format we will say. Okay. So let's say we have typed our first command. So this hash is nothing but it gives you the header. In HTML, there is a limit of size of the text, h1, h2, h3. Okay. So this hash, as much as you add the hash, that much the size will decrease. Okay. So look, this is a preview. The size is decreased, and whenever I add a single hash, the size is increased. Okay. So this is how one principle is. And if you want to add a table, then what you will do is you will say name, then address, I would say, and then what was it? I guess this was. I will explain to you in a minute. Just hold for a second. Okay. Okay. So I said Prathamesh. Okay. So now if I preview this thing, look, we have just created a table. Okay. So this is markup language. If you want to create this table, you can also use HTML and CSS, not CSS, just HTML. So now I'll explain you what this thing means. This means you want to left indent your thing. Okay. This colon means. So if you put this colon after that dash, so this is for your first column. This is for your second column. Okay. So I will just preview this thing. So look, this is right indented, right? So with this thing, you can write indent. And if you want to center the thing, you can just have to put two colons after and before. So look, it's centered, right? So there are few demo, I would say, which will be needed to you. I won't go quite deep into this. So I guess that's all for now. I don't want, okay. So that's all for now. I will give you some brief introduction to Git and GitHub. Okay. Now one thing, I don't want this repository. So what you can do is just click onto this setting and just scroll down till the end. And what you will see is this delete repository option. So currently I don't need this repository. So just put in this name of the repository and you can delete this repository because people struggle to find this option. Okay. So this is it. So now I guess my partner Prathamesh will take the hands-on on how to use terminal. Okay. So Prathamesh, are you ready?
Yes, Shitish. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. I will just stop the content. I would say. Where's the option? Okay. Okay, Prathamesh, you can start sharing the screen. Are there any questions, by the way?
Is my screen visible?
Yes, perfectly visible, Prathamesh.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. So
Yes.
now we'll see some hands-on on. We'll start basically how do we install the Git. So first let's go to Google, and if you simply type here install Git, the first link, and so you can see the installation for various operating systems. Like here we have how to install it for Linux, how to install it for Mac OS, how to install it for Windows. So you have to download the file. So when I'll click this, yes, it will download a file, but I have already downloaded, so I'll not download it again. I'll just show you. So this is basically the Git file, and this is a simple setup where you have to just go on clicking next. You don't have to change any settings. So and the Git will get installed. So now we'll just make sure that Git is installed. So how to do that means how to identify whether the Git is installed or not. So what you should do is just go on start and type command prompt. So you will get this screen of command prompt. So what you have to do is just type git minus minus version. The Git is not installed, then it will say
Hello,
the Git.
Prathamesh. Just hold for a second. Guys, please take a notebook and note down the commands if you are not familiar with it. If you are familiar with it, it's good to go. Just use a notebook to note it down.
Yes, please do that. Yes. Uh, you can get whether the Git is installed. So it basically tells the version of the Git installed. So if not installed, it will say that Git is unrecognized. So you have to see, you have to install it basically. So this is the basic process of the installation. If you have any problem, then you can ask me later. Mm, okay. So here, new repository button, repository. I have created this repository. If you want to keep it public, you can keep it public, or you can keep it private. Any of these options can be selected. And as Kshitij told, there is no need to add a README for now. You can add it later. So now I'll create a repository. So yes, Kshitij has told you how to upload the files using the graphical interface. That is how to create a new file, how to upload existing file using this browser window. But actually, that's not a very effective method because in reality, we have files. So uploading it manually is a very tedious task. So it's better to use command line so that it becomes somewhat easier. Like you have to type few commands and all the files will go to GitHub. So I'll create a folder on my desktop. And so now what we do is we have to open the command prompt to this window. So to basically do that, what we have to do is just type CMD in that box. So you can see that the command prompt is open. As Sitish has had told some commands like git init. So we'll see what git init actually does. So when I type git init, it says that initialize empty git repository, and it gives the location of where the git repository has been initialized. So now we can these are the given steps by GitHub so that we can follow these steps so that we can create a repository. So now next thing which I have to do, which I'll do is I'll create file, text file, text file, demo, and I'll give a message here. I'll save this file. Now, what is the next command is they have given git add. So like we also have one command that is git status. So it tells whether you have updated some files or you have created new files or whether you have deleted some files. So let's try that. So I type git status. So it represents that we have not done any commits yet, and it also tells that we have some untracked files. So what are untracked files? That we have not yet committed those to GitHub. So it also gives some message like use git add file name to include what will be committed. So we'll do that, git add, and the file name is demo dot. So after this, it's staged actually. So when I write git status now, so you can see that now the changes are to be committed. We have just staged the file, and they have given this command which is used to unstage the file, but we don't have to do that now. So next command is git commit, and we like Kshitij added messages like first commit, second commit. So to add commit messages in the command line, we have to use -m flag. So and write the message in front of this in double inverted commas. Write the message is first commit. Uh, talking about commit messages, so the commit messages should be very precise, and what are you expecting from that commit? You have to write that so that whenever you see afterwards, like what have you created. When you want to undo the changes, so it is very helpful in that time. So I'll just do this. So you can see that first this commit has been done, and now for example, I'll create another file like demo1.txt. So you can see that demo1.txt is been created, and I'll write a message everyone. I'll save it, and now again I'll write git status command to see whether it shows that we have created a new file. So yes, it shows here that we have some untracked files. We have a new file named demo1. So now again the same procedure follows. So Kshitij had told that if we want to add a single file, then we have to give the file name. If we want to add the multiple files, we can do it by this method, that is git add and full stop. So when I do that, it gets add. Again, if I write status command, so you can see that we have staged the file. Now what we'll do is we'll again commit this file. So created demo1.txt. So this will be my commit message. So you can see that this file is also got commit. So, but what happened that suppose that a bad commit. We don't want this commit. So we want to just delete this commit, and we clear commit. What purpose of version control, that is we have made earlier versions of the same file. So for that, what we'll do is there is a command. So first we'll see git log command. So what this command actually does is it shows the commits which we have done till now. So you can see that I did this first commit, and then the second commit was created demo1.txt, and or hash values you can say, which represent this commit. So we can point to that commit using these values. So what I'll do is I don't want, so recent commit is this, but I don't want that. So I want this commit to be in this commit. Like I want to undo the. There is one command like git reset minus minus. halt. And this command, you have to provide this commit ID. This commit ID actually, because we want to get this commit. So I'll just copy this, and when I paste it here, and I'll fire the command. So we can see that head is now at this is commit ID, the starting 5 or 6 characters of commit ID. And if we now watch our see, we don't have here demo1.txt which we had created. So we have undo certain changes. Next, what we'll do, Kshitij had explained the what it actually does. So it helps us to means connect to GitHub. So they have also given this in their procedure, like you have to do git remote add origin, and this is the same address as this one. So I'll just copy this command from here, and when I paste it, so now we have actually connected to the GitHub. To check whether we have connected to a right repository, so what we'll do is there is a command named remote -v. So what does this basically give us? Like this gives us address to which repository which we have connected. So demo webinar is the repository which we have connected, and that's right. So to finally push these changes to the GitHub, we have the command they have given here, git push origin master. Git push origin master. Yes, the command was successful. So it tells us that the number of changes and everything. So we'll just see whether the GitHub repository has been updated. Just reload this. So we can now see the node.txt file is visible on our GitHub, which says hi happy learning. So this was basically the commands which we use to push the local repository to the remote repository. And don't worry about memorizing these commands. When we'll develop certain 2 or 3 projects, so these commands will be used various number of times. So there is no need to memorize. You will get after that. Now we'll see. Now we'll see that how we can other users through the GitHub. So I'll just add Kshitij to my repository. So you have to go to this settings tab, and then here you can see the manage access tab. So in this manage access tab, here it shows 0 collaborators. So if I want to add any collaborators, here is the invite a collaborator button. So when it, we have to search the user by username, full name, or his email address. So if I type Kshitij Sangar @gmail.com, so he will be invited through his mail. Also, but I'll search him by his username for now. Yes, I have selected his username, and I'll just say add Kshitij Sangar 217 to demo webinar. To invite other collaborators to work on our repository. You guys have to work in teams, so you have to invite other collaborators. So this is how you do it. So now I'll Kshitij to show how to accept the invite, and also show the git clone command, which is also useful. Hello, Kshitij.
Okay, Prathamesh, nice explanation. Are there any questions regarding this
Yes.
till now?
Please feel free to ask the questions. I
Is
guess
it
there
well
are
with
no questions.
Prathamesh?
Yes, yes, it is. You should continue.
Okay, guys. So as Prathamesh invited me, I've got the invitation on my email ID. So I'll just accept the invitation. Okay. So as I accept the invitation, now I'm allowed or I'm accessed to make changes to this repository, as I explained into the example before. Okay. So this is our first commit. So to make change into this file, we have two options, right? I've just shown it to you previously. When you click onto this file, there is this edit button option where you can click on this and you can edit the file, right? But now what I want to show you is whenever you come across in regarding some project onto the GitHub, what you will do is you want to download entire project, right? You can't manually download the file, put it into a particular directory, right? So in that case, they have provided us with this clone command. So how we will do is we need this what we say link to clone this repository. So let's begin. So I guess we are into this directory, I guess. So yeah, so we are into this directory. We want to create our repo into this directory. So now I will just open our command prompt into this folder using cmd enter. So the command prompt points to this folder now. So now I will just git clone into the entire repository. Okay, so I'll just say git clone and I will just paste the link of the repository that I want to clone. So when I click enter, the folder will be created naming the name of the repository, and all the files will be downloaded. So look, it's downloaded, and all the files that Prathamesh added are there in here. So as I see demo text, so here it says hi, happy learning. So I'll just add hi, this is Kshitij. Okay, and I will save this file. Okay, so now I will just upload it on the repository. I will create my commit onto the repository. Okay, so as you can see that when I say git status, not a fatal, yeah, I just didn't added all the files. I don't know what's happening here. Oops, sorry. I'm not into the directory. Yeah, I'll just say demo tab enter. So I guess I am into the particular directory. Yes, I am into the directory. So now I will say what I'm gonna say git add. Okay, so when I say git status, it will show that it's been staged. Okay, now I will say git commit, and I will add the message Kshitij added his text, right? So when I click enter onto this commit, this version is created onto my PC. Okay, so this will be a local version, right? So now the means commit is nothing but a version. Okay, so now in order to upload it on GitHub, I will just push it. I'll say git push. Before that, I have to check it's pointing to the right directory repository. I'll say git remote dash v. So look, I'm pointing to the right repo. So now I'll say git push origin master, and I guess it's done. There we are. So now we'll just move on to the repository that we created. So it's first commit right now. So now it says Kshitij added his text. So this is another version, another method to add text. So this is it. Hi, this is Kshitij. So now using this thing, what Prathamesh wanna show you is he want to show you that merge conflict. So he will explain you what merge conflict is. So here I'm done with my what do we say task. So now I request Prathamesh to again share his screen and show you the merge conflict. That would be the last part of our session. Okay. So thank you. Hello, Prathamesh.
Hello. Thank you, Kshitij.
Yes.
So, which was asked privately. So the doubt was git bash here corruption. So I'll tell that doubt. So what he was basically, I guess my screen is not visible. Chitish?
No, no, it's not visible. Share it.
Okay. Is it?
Yeah, it's visible.
Thank you. So now what he wanted to ask is, so if I right click, you can see the command like git bash here. So when I open it, you can type the commands here also, like when you do in command prompt. So that could also be done. I answered your doubt. We'll see what are
Yeah.
merge conflicts.
Is the question answered, by the way? Please reply quickly. Yes, I guess it's answered. Yes, go, Prathamesh.
Okay.
Explain.
So now he has added his text to this repository. So now what is actually a merge conflict? So I'll first edit the file. Wait. So yes, this is my version of file. I have not yet pulled from the repository the right file that Kshitij has edited. So when I write my version here, like I Prathamesh. So I'll write just this command. Sorry, so what Kshitij, he has edited his name, and I have done is I have edited my name. So this results to a merge conflict. So we'll see how we resolve it actually, and I'll also tell how to avoid these merge conflicts. So first, see git status command. So yes, I have to add the file demo.txt. So when I do, then I'll just commit Prathamesh edited demo.txt. I'll write this commit message. I forgot minus one. Okay. Now when I do that, see that till here there is no issue because this is on my local repository. This is on my local PC. But when I try to communicate with GitHub, then it will give a error. So let's see that if I try to write git push origin master command here. So yes, this is what I want to tell also. Like when many a times you face this issue, like when we write git push origin master, you get such a issue, like fail to push some references to, and this is the link of our repository. So what is basically done is they have also given a hint to resolve this issue. We have to first write git pull command, and we'll also provide link to our repository. You can get that link here, code section. I'll paste this repository link, and when I do that, so here, yes. Uh, so what GitHub actually does is it tries to auto merge the contents, but actually the merge conflict is created because I and Kshitij have changed at the same line of the same document. So that has led to a merge conflict. So to resolve that conflict, I'll just open the file. Like, so now, what GitHub does actually is it has added some text after and before the merge conflicts, and this is we can call a separator, like separate and Kshitij's code. So what they have to actually do is like now I want to keep both the messages. So what I'll do is I'll just delete ex, uh, extra terms and I'll just save this file. Now I actually remove the conflicts and the code will be uploaded, which is this, like which contains both the names. Now adding that, so we'll give txt, then we'll resolve conflicts. So yes, now we'll try pushing it on our Git repository. So git push origin master. So now you can see that we have pushed the file successfully, and also we can see on GitHub. I'll reload the file. You can see the resolved conflicts commit message, and you can see the conflict has been resolved and the file which I wanted to send on GitHub has been sent. So this is just a brief start from our side. So there are various other applications of GitHub, like you can collaborate with some others project, and also like these are just out of the scope of this webinar. So, and also if you have any issues understanding some commands, you can just visit Git documentation page. So documentation page, you can go to reference manual. So these are all the commands, uh, git config, git clone. When you visit them, you can see what are the description, how can you use them. Like you can find every material, and also they have tutorial, some tutorials. So you can watch it, and that's all from our side.
Okay, guys,
Are there
are
any
there any
doubts?
questions now? So we have tried to cover the most important things that you will need into this journey. So you can also explore it, and if you have doubts, you can also ping us,
Yes.
and we will provide you the link of. I mean, so we have got some DMs about getting the links and all. We will also provide the links probably of the downloads in our group. Okay, no
Also,
doubts.
we have some cheat sheet of which contains the command, but it's not of our credits, but we'll share it on our group
Yeah,
so
it's
that
quite
you can,
useful.
yes.
Yes. Are there any doubts? Please reply quickly. There's a lot to explore in GitHub. You can start using it. You can explore it. It will take time probably, but these are all the things that are fundamentals of Git and GitHub. Okay, no doubts. No doubts. Okay.
So I have got a doubt.
What?
Uh, what is the difference between git clone and git pull?
Git
So
clone
can you
and what?
explain?
Git pull. Okay.
Git pull.
Okay, so the big difference is when you do git clone, you will just download the entire repository, okay? And what git pull does is just already started working on the repository, and one of the team member in your project has did few changes onto his side, and he has pushed those changes onto the repository. So when you say git pull, it will just import all those changes into your file. Okay, so that's the short difference between git clone and git pull. Because you just can't start from git pull. Means you just can't say that git pull file name, git pull directory. So in that case, you have to use git clone. It will just download entire repository, and git pull is to import all those changes. So did we answer your question?
Yes, he has replied. Okay.
Okay. Any other questions? Because we are at the end of this session. Probably it was quite helpful to you too. Okay, there are no doubts, I guess. So that's all for today, guys. We will be conducting HTML, CSS, and JS. Okay, there's a question, I guess. If I want to add into anyone's repo, shall I rather make a pull request or fork it or work on it myself and post the repo? Neil, there are two options. If you are allowed or if you are given the access of uploading your files onto the repo, just the way Prathamesh give me the access, I got the link, I connected into that repository. So in that case, I don't have to create pull request. I can directly make changes into the repository. But if there's a case that you have found someone else's repo onto the internet and you want to suggest few changes, then in that case you have to fork his repository. You have to make changes into his repository, and you have to create a pull request to him. So what he will get is he will get the difference between his repo and the changes you did. And if he allows, he can accept that pull request. So it depends on that. You understood? Okay, thank you. Okay, if there are any questions, please drop it right now, or we will end it in a few minutes. And yeah, please be active for 2-3 days. There will be HTML, CSS, and JS workshop, and also regarding project management and about industry standards that will be conducted by our sir. You have gone through the poster. So I guess Prathamesh, there are no doubts. I think we should end our meeting right here. So thanks all,
Yes.
thanks to all that you've been into this entire session. It was really motivating to us too. I hope we answered a basic few questions to you. That's all. If you do you want to say anything, Prathamesh?
No, no. It's thank you everyone for staying till the end. I hope that this webinar was useful to you.
Okay, guys. Thanks all. See you tomorrow. Happy learning.